Hi, I'm Ricky Tugg, a professor at the University of Florida, and this is an introduction to the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. Now, this is a lot of fun to learn about yourself and also about others during the next few minutes when we talk about the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or MBTI. I'll use that interchangeably. A couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, don't look at your scores yet. I'll tell you when a little later on when to look at your scores. And secondly, you'll need a pen because I'll call some reference to using that pen as we go through the presentation today. First of all, the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator is based on Carl Jung's personality types. It provides you with some information on your key preferences, tendencies, and characteristics, but not all of them. Ultimately, you're the one who chooses whether the results sound like you or not. Now, what are type preferences? Well, they're personality attributes. It's psychological, represents a way of enduring looking at how you use your mind. So for example, take that pen for a minute. What I want you to do is to sign your name on a piece of paper. You can use the handouts that you have here, sign your name. Now, take your pen, put it in your other hand, and sign your name. All right, how did it feel the first time that you signed your name? Some references I get from time to time is that it felt comfortable, it felt natural, easy to do. What about the second time when you moved your pen from your normal writing hand to your other hand? How did it feel when you signed your name then? Again, some of the responses I get are weird, unnatural, uncomfortable, difficult to do. Well, the same thing is true with personality type. Just as you have an enduring and preference for the way that you sign your name, or whichever right-handed or left-handed that you are, it's the same thing with personality type. You have an enduring, consistent way of doing certain things. But you still use your other hand. I'm a right-handed person, but there are things that I do with my left hand. For example, I like to play softball and baseball. So in softball, I bat right-handed. I throw with my right hand, but I catch with my left hand. I've tried trying to catch with my right hand with the other glove on this hand, and it's very difficult to do because I do use this hand more. So you will have a preference of one personality type over the other, but you will use both along the way at different points in your life. And the way that we do the Myers-Briggs is that it's reported on 4 scales, each with 2 halves. And I'll spend considerable time talking about each half and each scale as we go through. The 4 preference scales are extroversion or introversion, sensing or intuition, thinking and feeling, and judging or judgment and perception. The extroversion or introversion scale is how you get your energy, how you direct your energy. The sensing and intuition scale is how you prefer to take in information. Thinking and feeling refers to how you make decisions. And then the judgment or perception scale is how you orient yourself to the outer world. In other words, what do people see in you? And we'll go through right now and talk about each of the scales as we go through the presentation. Extroversion and introversion is, again, how you direct your energy. Extroverts get their energy from the outer world, introverts from the inside or from the inner world. Extroverts are very energized by other people, by external experiences. Introverts are energized by inner resources and internal experiences. Extroverts, a good characteristic of extroverts is that they act and then sometime reflect. Introverts, on the other hand, they reflect and then maybe they will act. So if you're the type of person who sometimes or most of the time say something or do something and then you think, was that the best thing to do? You may be an extrovert. The introverts have a more tendency to reflect and then maybe act or maybe say something. Extroverts are often seen as very friendly, talkative, easy to know. They're the type of people who like to be around a lot of people all the time. Introverts are more reserved, a little bit more difficult to get to know. Extroverts have a tendency to need interaction. They need to have a lot of interaction with different people, different stimuli, and introverts value their privacy. Extroverts give breadth to life. Introverts give depth to life. Extroverts like to be around a lot of people and have relationships, and so do introverts. But introverts' relationships with other people tend to be a lot deeper. They may have fewer relationships or interactions with people, but those that they do have tend to be a lot deeper because of the reflective nature that introverts have. So yes, introverts like to be with people, but those that are in close relation to them, they've had a chance to reflect on, and again, gives a more depth to those particular relationships. Here are some key words about extroverts and introverts. Extroverts more active, outward, sociable, again with a breadth of life, many different types of relationships. Introverts more reflective, inward thinking, more private, and again, give depth to life. Now, on this particular handout, slide handout, use your pen, and on this scale, mark where you think that you fall on the extrovert to introvert scale. Okay, mark that now. The next scale is sensing and intuition, and this deals with how people take in information. Sensing types take in information through the 5 senses: touch, taste, sight, smell, sound. Whereas the intuitives take in information or process information through more of an aha type of insight. Sensing types are very present-oriented type of people. They enjoy being right where they are, living in the present, whereas intuitives are always thinking about the future, what could be, what might be. Sensing types are also very practical people. They are hands-on related type people who deal with the hands-on practical issues and matters of today. Intuitives are always thinking about possibilities, imagining what might happen. Sensing types are very definite and like things that are measurable. So if you're a scientist who likes to watch plants grow, if you're an agronomist, for example, and you measure based on, say, a new chemical treatment on a plot of grass or wheat or something, and you measure those things, you may be a sensing type because you're using those 5 senses to observe what's going on and measure those things. Intuitives, they like to be inventive. Now, you can still be a scientist and have those attributes of being an intuitive type, but intuitives also like to be, as I said, inventive. So those who are creative types that may gravitate more to an area where they can use that particular characteristic in their personality. Sensing types like to start at the beginning and work their way step by step through a process. Intuitives, they'll jump in anywhere and jump anywhere in the process. Here are some key words about both types. Sensing types are very detailed, practical people in step or sequential, a lot of enjoyment, repetition. Intuitives are much more future-oriented, imaginative, they like variety, and are a little bit more figurative in their relationships. Now, on this scale, again, take your pen, and on that particular slide, mark where you think that you are. The extroversion and introversion scale are fairly easy to see. Well, am I more sociable or more private? Maybe easier to see that particular characteristic. This next one is also probably the second easiest one for you to decide which one that you are. Sensing and intuition is a little bit more difficult. This one is the thinking and feeling scale, and this is how you make decisions. The biggest difference is with the thinking types is a very logical analysis. Feeling types has to do with valuing other people, and we'll look at some